first. What's happened to the underlying real estate market in Italy?
You may recall that the Italian market was recovering from a very deep slowdown in 2013, 2015.
Yes.
Real estate market was not buoyant, but healthy, especially in big cities. Milan was fantastic market for real estate, also for foreign investments, but also for domestic. Milan is becoming a very attractive place where to be. It's becoming a nice city. Clearly, the quarantine has stopped everything. It has stopped also the transactions that were closed, in the sense that you just needed to go to the notary, but you cannot go to the notary, so you cannot really complete the transaction. Real estate agents get the money, seller gets the money, and this is a really weak point of the whole system. I'm a very strong fan of blockchain concept, in the sense that you could digitalize in a very safe, encrypted environment pieces of transactions that are more critical than others, and the signature in front of a notary is definitely such.
Yes.
The latest forecast about market is 20% down in terms of real estate transactions compared to 2019, while the cumulative of first quarter were 7% up. So 1/4 cut. My view
is that for, but Luca, is that for the whole rest of the year or just for the second quarter?
For the rest of the year.
Okay.
So the 2020 will be 20% less than 2019, in light of a reasonably healthy first quarter and the impact then of coronavirus.
Okay. I thought it would have been, actually, I think that given everything, that's actually quite a good result for the market. I would have thought it could be a lot worse. And yeah, some markets I'm hearing, sales transactions are down 30 or 40%. So a 20% reduction is good. Is that because there is latent demand? So once things have freed up a little bit, there'll be a lot of transactions occurring. So it'll be like +7, -40, and then plus 10 or 15 or 20. So you get back to the average of 20% down, or do you think it's going to be just a drifting down over the whole time?
Yeah, it's going to be a drifting down. I mean, it's not like not consuming entertainment or good restaurants. I mean, there are a lot of stories around, I'm sure you're aware of what happened in Wuhan when people went out and started, avidly consuming what they were not able to consume before. This is not the house market or the real estate market. It will be a drifting down. The key point is that how strong will be the measures to protect employment? Because there will be abundant liquidity in the market at negligible interest rate, but at the same time, there will be people losing their jobs. If you lose your job, you don't get a mortgage at whatever price. So this is the pivotal point to be more optimistic or less optimistic.
Okay. And what's your view on housing prices? Are they going to drop at the same rate as sales?
I don't think so. Again, one profile of the Italian market is that it's more diverse than other countries. I mean, in the UK, you have London and everywhere else. In Italy, you have markets that are less concentrated in very large cities. In Milan, prices were going up in light of strong demand and also very good product being offered in the market. Because what drives prices up is also the quality of what you sell, which is a neglected feature in the real estate market, at least in Italy, quite often. Prices in non-key economic areas were stable and stagnating since many years, and it will be so as well. Milan, probably the takeoff will be impacted, but still it's going to be the most attractive place in the country where to be, and the one truly European city where to be, also in terms of business. So my view is that prices will be in the trend before, where it was good and healthy, it will be impacted, but still good and healthy. And where it was stagnant and bearish, it will stay put.
Okay, that makes sense. Then the next question is, what's been the impact on the underlying real estate agency market? Agents closing? Are they just taking a rest for 2 or 3 months? What's actually happening in that market?
There is no evidence of people going out of the market, and it is too early to tell. It is a highly fragmented market. If you look at the number of transactions or business per real estate agent in Italy, that's far more fragmented than UK or Germany. So the size of the median size of the business is smaller. People has not closed down or exited the business yet. It's something that we will see probably after September, when people will, when marginal players will see that there is not enough a market, they have not enough resources and enough cash to keep going, and they will close down. The reaction has been, of panic in some cases. In fact, what our commercial people found themselves having conversations around, what's the business? What am I going to do far beyond the contract and the business relationship we have?
Yes.
And clearly there is a lot of frustration because real estate agents cannot go to the office and cannot move anyway because they don't belong to the essential activities, business activities, which instead are allowed to move. There's strong pressure to make the move, also to go to office and complete transactions that existing. But definitely, I would say from, oh my God, panicking and let's stay put, I keep working. We see many customers doing the good things to prepare themselves for the future, which is not only investing in advertising, because that's clearly our point of view, but also resuming customer files, client files, and getting competencies in what they are weaker. So it's a mixed situation.
Okay, so some are being proactive, some are thinking through, how do I use this downtime to grow my business or grow my skill set? Others are hiding away and just waiting for the storm to finish. Would probably be and two ways to think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. These three profiles are very, very clear in design and describing the situation here.
So then what does it mean for the Casa business? Because clearly you're reliant on advertising revenues from these agents. What's happening there? Have you offered them discounts? Have you offered them a deferral in payment? What's the approach that you've taken?
Well, we took a pragmatic approach, obviously, and a responsible one. Still, we didn't want to react to the wave of massive requests. I'm not going to pay you. No one's going to pay ourselves. So first of all, we kept all our people safe and the business up and running. As of today, our lead flow and traffic flow in the portal compared to last year is minus 25%, which is bad, but given circumstances, it's not that bad. So the business is still there. On a case-by-case with each customer, we have a one-to-one relationship, which is recognized as one of our competitive advantages in the market. And so our people was instructed to support the needs of customers, because some customers would rather have a discount, some others would like to have a cash deferral, some others want to have products for the future. So one size did not fit all.
Yes.
We took some measures like strong discount offers to renewers. We postponed the payment of the March invoice to September. We launched a very attractive package for new customers, and we recruited some actually. So everyone counts, and it was a good job. So a set of measures and offers that could fit for very diverse situations. And we had tons of customers regularly renewing and paying us.
Okay, so the customers are still there. They've still got funds. They're still happy to engage with you because they can then do some advertising, access some of your other products and services. And you said you haven't seen many go out of business at this point in time.
No, not yet. We have seen a vertical takeoff of our virtual visit product, which has become accessible to anyone having simple pictures. And we are really pushing hard that, because we do believe it is a service it's unique, very useful, no setup cost at all, and we put it for free for all the market.
So as long as they're a customer of yours, so it's free for all your customers. Yep.
Yeah.
Can you describe how this the virtual visit product works?
Yes, I had the pleasure to do it in the latest event at yours, but it's based upon the pictures that you publish on the portal, and they can be either 360 degrees or now, starting 2 weeks ago, the 2D pictures that you have.
Yep.
The key point is that for the real estate agent, the setup is very easy. I mean, you have the pictures, you have them there. What you have to do? Nothing. And in this period, you don't have to pay anything for it. The consumer goes to the portal and they see an apartment that interests them. They send a message or make a phone call to the agent, and the agent can tell, would you like to visit the apartment now? And today the answer is, it's impossible because I cannot get out of home.
Yes.
And he said, no, but just if you have a computer or a smartphone, I'm sending to your email a link. Press the link, and both the consumer and the customer are virtually into the apartment.
Okay.
The good thing that is very welcomed by our customers is that they want to have the key of the apartment. They want to open the door. Yes. And they have the opportunity to walk the visual of the consumer around the apartment, around the house, as they would do naturally in a physical visit. At the same time, customer can pop up some documents or some reports that are useful to explain better, like the energy certification or the property certificate, and can decide whether to send it, make it visible to the consumer or not. And at the same time, the conversation goes on, and it's replicating the dealing that occurs physically.
Right.
I mean, they tested it with me, so I'm the most dull person in the company, and if it works, it works very well.
So it becomes literally a live conversation between, say, myself and an agent. We're looking at the same screen, and the agent is controlling what I see.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and that so it's truly keeping the agent and buyer relationship, or I guess renter as well, because there's still rentals that have to occur, happening in parallel. Okay.
Yeah. And at the same time, the agent can show a Google map of other properties in the area with same features, and say, look, if you don't like this, I have something else that you may be interested in, and just walk next door in a virtual way.
Right. So you just walk through all the properties, and then it builds the relationship. And I guess what they're really doing, can they then not exchange, but send the contracts so they can look at the fine details? Clearly, you can't go to a notary and buy the property, but you can at least, I guess, reserve the property until could I put a deposit and say, well, I want to buy that, or I want the right to buy that, or is it not quite that advanced yet?
Well, we have deliberately decided to limit our role into that. Then customer and the consumer and the agent may decide to exchange documents and files, like the draft contract and everything that's needed. And the buyer may transfer funds for the down payment whenever he wants. We are not into that yet.
Okay.
As Paul.
Okay, which makes sense, because that then and is this product just for agents, or can developers use the product as well?
Also, developers can use it. Anyone who's our customer, for free.
Okay, and are developers, I assume in the Italian market, developers are also under a bit of stress?
Very much so. Most of them, especially in areas which were not warm, hot previously. Milan and Lombardy used to be a very happy place. I talked to developers in the month of February, and they couldn't believe their eyes because the business was doing very well. This is anecdotal. I tried myself to buy a house next to my house in Milan, and there was nothing really greenfield. And they told me, look, it's sold out since 6 months ago. Forget about it. Some other areas, the market is really stuck, and also there has been offer being put in the market after years of slow demand. So the unsold stock is big.
Okay. And I assume they're dropping their prices quite aggressively.
To some extent, yes, but prices, especially as prices, do not follow correctly the dynamics between offer and demand. I mean, people is reluctant to lower prices as prices because that's not good. I mean, it's an indication. But if you
Yes.
see properties staying on the portal at, let's say, $100 for 6 months, then that's not the right price.
Yes, I can understand. So there's a timing issue here. And either the demand will come back to where the price is, or the price will eventually follow the demand down until they get the right level.
It's both ways, I think. It will be a adjustment, which again, the big question mark is how many people will still be eligible for mortgage compared to pre-COVID emergency when we go.
Yeah. So then the last thing I wanted to have a quick chat about was what does the future look like for Casa and your customers? You know, after you, as you said before, you've been in sort of a lockdown state for nearly 6 weeks, or maybe 5 weeks. Do you think that there are going to be elements of that for a long period of time in terms of social distancing? And do you think there will be a change in the way real estate is bought and sold or rented? And does that create an opportunity for you?
I think that first thing, I'm taking an inside view, which we proved to be capable of working remotely 100%, which is a great test for the whole team. And that has to do a lot, not only with with technology, which is available to everyone, but to our business and people culture. So this is a big tick off to us. I think we need to be prepared to both scenarios, because real estate agents are not the most fast learning people. And the business, it's being conducted as it has been 20 years ago, mostly. And obviously I'm generalizing, so I'm mixing black and white. Still there will be changes, because people is starting to understand that there are so many things they can do without moving from home now, office in the future, that impact positively their efficiency, that there will be a acceleration of the adoption of some simple tools. The one we talked about is just an example.
Yes.
And much depends also by the consumer. I mean, Italian consumers are not the most digitalized. Unfortunately, those who can afford to buy a house are not usually the younger, and therefore the traction that they can get on using, pulling the new tools is relatively lower than elsewhere. But I think it will be a progressive change. Obviously, we will play our part, because the digital real estate market business in Italy has been small and compared to other markets because of a supply side problem. As businesses, we didn't offer good, simple, cheap things relevant for people, which we are embarked to do. But again, there will be a change and an acceleration in, let's say, evolving the way agents do business, not transform for the time being.
Okay, and I think your point earlier on is very pertinent here, is the notaries, which is a core part of the real estate process in Italy. People can't even go to them to sign to get their properties. And they, of all people, need to get into the 21st century and really digitize and become more efficient and effective in how they operate, which will then create more fluidity and I guess the capacity to have a more remote relationship in the market.
I couldn't agree more. As I said, that's a bottleneck. I think you need a notary. I'm happy to have a notary when I buy a house for many
Yes.
reasons, and I'm happy to pay for that. But
Yes.
still, if I can save the time to go to Apulia like I did 8 months ago when I bought a house there, I would be happy to stay at home and pay my fees and registration.
Yeah, I agree. Luca, thank you very much. Fantastic insights. Good luck.